Forward, no bull, no bollocks. Amorim is sacked. He's done. I cannot watch football like that. Look, I wanted it to work for him. I want it to work for Ruben Amorim. I wanted it to be the difference. I wanted it to be the start of the Player Power FC gone at Manchester United. I'm just looking at the screen there, and I'm seeing a bunch of absolute inept, useless, absolute pathetic players wearing a Man United shirt walking over to an empty Manchester United away stand, and I mean empty, because that in them players' heads right now should sink in harder than anything else. And that there for me is players that don't understand what they are doing. Ruben Amorim is out of his depth. I'm sorry, absolutely sorry. I said this in the week. I said we would beat Chelsea because we have to. We will then lose to Brentford. Everyone's laughing at me because I said we'd beat Chelsea. I know my team. I know this team's mentality under Ruben Amorim. I know what it is. We'll beat Sunderland. And everyone will go into the international break off the back of beating Sunderland and say, oh, give him a chance. Give him a little bit longer. Then we'll come back and we'll lose to Liverpool. And we'll recycle the same shit all over again. Another 4 games before the next international break where we maybe pick up 1 win and then maybe a draw. And we'll still be the bottom half of the table. Manchester United right now are the worst we have ever been. And it's not going to change under Ruben Amorim anymore. The reluctance to actually change the system has got him the sack. I cannot see him surviving from this. You do not go out against Brentford knowing exactly what they're about, knowing their own threat that they have got, and the one and only threat that they've got. You knew they were going to go diagonal. You knew they were going to go long. We conceded the first 2 goals to long balls in the first 20 minutes. But for Altay Bayindir, and yes, he was at fault for the last goal. Don't know what he was doing there. We should have lost about 6 or 7-1, but for Bayindir in that goal there today. Brentford completely battered us. And Keith Andrews, well done. Well done. But to be honest, he really shouldn't be applauded there. It's easy to play against Manchester United. And Keith Andrews, let's get this straight here now. Let's just get this right out of the way here. Keith Andrews has never managed a team until this season. Yeah, he's been assistant coaches. He's learnt a lot. But this is a man that's never managed at all. So coming right into the Premier League has just schooled Manchester United's manager because our manager is too stubborn to accept defeat in his system. A 3-4-3 in the intensity of the Premier League is being found out week in, week out. How? Well, you don't change it. You don't change it, Ruben. So what did Keith Andrews do? He put 3 men up front who absolutely battered Manchester United off long balls and picking up the second. EFL football just carved Manchester United completely open there today. That's what that was. That's all that was. It was championship level football. The game was shit. There wasn't one team in control of it there. But when you are Manchester United and you're dropping to that level and getting battered at it, it's even more embarrassing. Here come all of the banter crew. Here come everybody jumping on Manchester United again. And these players will get on their first class train back up to Manchester. We go again. Not the result we wanted. No, it's not happening anymore. These players are done with Ruben Amorim. That's a team there that were empty today. That's a team there that didn't have a bleeding clue of what they were doing. Moments you can pick out in the game. Yes, Collins should have been sent off. The ref, what is wrong with you? Seriously. You give a foul for a penalty, so it's a foul. And that foul has been determined off the back of him pulling his player back, Mbumo, in the box. He should have been red carded. I don't understand. The football game is dead. Honestly, it's dead when it comes to VAR. It's shit. It's killed the game completely. Bruno's waiting 5 minutes while that gets decided whether or not it was big enough to give a penalty but not big enough to give a red card. Well, what are the rules at VAR? What are the rules at the PGMOL at the moment? I've got no idea. Well, it is just an absolute sham. That's what that is. That completely got masked over because United was so bad. When you've got a contentious decision like that and you can't even talk about it as a key point in a game, shows you how shit your team must really be. And we are shit. It's just painful to watch. Great comment that came into me. And it was Kaz who gave it me earlier on. It's alright. It's one thing playing bad and winning games. But we're playing awful and losing games, and it's just not enjoyable to watch anymore. It's just awful to watch. You cannot get up for it. You cannot get up for it. It is that bad for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim. And the system will kill him. The players he's playing will kill him. Look at this, and here's a key point, and you can clip me up on this moment here right now. How many times have we said we need to filter out of this team the Manchester United old guard? How many times have we said we need to get out them players that have failed year in, year out at this football club? And today, we go in with Luke Shaw, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Harry Maguire, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Diogo Dalot, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Bruno Fernandes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A third of your team that has been through the worst period in this club's history over the last 5 or 6 years, starting in a game that we need to win to save another manager. Them 4 players alone are about to see off yet another manager at this football club. Bruno Fernandes, take him off penalties. Bruno Fernandes, drop him. Take him out of the side, Ruben. Don't even get me started on Diogo Dalot. Oh my God! That man has forgotten how to play football. Did he ever know in the first place? Beyond pathetic. And Ruben, that's his go-to man? Seriously, if Dalot and Bruno are your go-tos and Luke Shaw and Maguire your safety nets, you are screwed, my friend. Completely screwed. The United fan base watching that are scratching their heads thinking, what the fuck happened to my football club? What has happened to this team? And all you've got right now, and what makes this 20 times worse, is you've got Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, even Andre Onana sat there like that going. That's all you're getting right now. Honestly, it doesn't get much worse than this. It doesn't. This is just like at a point now where I actually laughed when Bruno missed the penalty, I think. Was it the penalty? I can't remember what moment I was actually laughing because I'd given up. When was it now? It might have actually been the second goal going in. No, it wasn't that because I think my head had fallen off at that point. But I think it was the penalty miss. I think that summed it all up for me. It was just a horrible penalty. And look, I can defend Bruno if you want in that moment there and say that it just dragged on to ridiculous times and it's crap refereeing. But, I mean, seriously, if we're going to use that as the excuse to why, let's just bring it back a little bit, shall we? And look at how pathetic Manchester United were. And we should have been beaten 6 or 7-1 by Brentford. This is a team that concede goals for fun. This is a team that have got 1 win this season. And now Manchester United roll into town easy. That there shows you. Look, you are a team that's got 1 win all season in all competitions. And if United roll into town and it's that easy to get a win, that tells you there's something wrong with the system. That tells you that there's no hope for Ruben Amorim. Look, he's going to stay. I think it'll be the Brighton game when we lose to Brighton at home. I'm guessing here right now because this is what I see. Because I know this team and I know how this is going to go. We will beat Sunderland. Woo! Win for United. Great stuff. We will then lose to Liverpool. We will then lose to Brighton the next game after that. And that's when the penny will drop. And then in comes the November international breaks. And that's when he's going to go. And right now, do you think that anything is going to change? I'm looking at players come to Manchester United and just look completely inept. Like they don't know what they're doing anymore. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. I'm looking at Brian Mbeumo. My God, I feel so sorry for the guy. Benjamin Sesko, I'm looking at him and I'm going, credit to him today. He got his goal. But that was it. You kind of like, it's like he got the goal. Hey, yes, get in there. You knew nothing else was coming. You knew there was nothing else coming at that point. And that's the worrying bit. There's no hope that they can move off it. There wasn't one moment in that game. The Cunha was all over the place and Bumo's trying everything he can, making the wrong decisions. When you've got Bruno and Manuel Ugarte backing you up, then you're screwed. You're completely screwed. And again, like the prime example for me, and look, and people have got this opinion of Bruno Fernandes anyway, and they say he's been doing it for years. I completely disagree with it. He's one of our better players. And Gary Neville absolutely nailed it the other night after the derby. And when he said, look, when Bruno Fernandes is looking this bad in this system, the system is wrong. You're making everybody look bad. Every single positive that we've got in our team, or player we've got in our team that's a positive, is being completely drowned out by negative tactics and systems. It absolutely starves us of allowing players to express themselves. That's what this system is. Ruben Amorim, he's done at this football club. And that performance today against an average side said everything for me. I just don't get it. He can't even look at the game himself. Every time the camera pans to him, he's got his head down. He's shaking his head like he's just like, look, mate, like, you know what these players are. You've seen 6 months of it. You've brought in 3 more players who are better than what we had, and they look just as shit at the moment as the ones that you replaced because of this system, because of what's going on. You are not going to be able to play the way you want at this football club, and now it's too late. That's where we're at. Honestly, I want it so badly to work for this guy, but it's blind faith right now. It really is. It's blind faith. I haven't got any excuse at all. There is no excuses for Manchester United tonight. We are done. Absolutely finished as a football team. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the long show today. That is my summary and my roundup to the game. It's a disaster of a day for United. Get into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Get in the comments after this live is finished. I'm going to be over on Football Talks watching some decent football for other teams in the same league, because that there today was so far away from Premier League standard, and that was so far away from Manchester United standards. It's scary. Get a video